All right, folks. Welcome to a little gameplay session. I've really been trying not to hop in the game because it's still not up to the standard that I really feel like is worthy of my time when I have a million other games to play right now. So I'm trying to just work on catching up in other games. I'm actually considering just starting a second channel where I just play those games. So you guys know that I'm not just like not playing video games at all. I'm just trying to catch up on my backlog. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna check out the Starlancer Max. I've already kind of taken a look at a few of these things, but it's all good. Obviously, I will skip through all the boring parts. All right. Well, I missed the train. So, yeah. We're here waiting. Anyway. There's only like a 20-second wait now for the train, which I think is pretty cool. Also, did these have these on here before? I never really paid attention to whether the colors or anything that were on the train. I don't know. We're going to the spaceport. Ah, beautiful new babbage. Among the ice, you'll see the new babbage. I don't even know what accent that is. Well, yeah, it's a pretty city, but you're in the city and then you gotta go away from the city. So that's kind of city. Oh, I've always liked riding the train though, because it's like fully physicalized. I guess I don't know if physicalized is the word to use, but like even though it's a little choppy, it still feels like you're on a train. It's not just like a teleportation device. But it's been a while. It's been a while since I like hopped in the PTU with the intention of doing a thing. But I'm really not gonna do much. I'm just gonna hop in these ships. It's pretty late at night here, so yeah. What are we pulling out today? Let's see. Let's see, Letty. Yeah, let's pull this Starlancer Max out. Let's take a ride on that bad boy. Now I've already seen this, but I felt like pulling it out was, and I felt like showing it. I feel like showing it. Showing it on camera is kind of necessary. So, because I know a lot of people had an issue with my score that I gave it, so I was like, you know what? Let me take a second look at it. I flew it a little bit. I got on it. I looked around it. I already knew the interior was going to be nice, so I didn't really need to check the interior to know that the interior was going to be nice. I think it was more so I just needed to fly it and shoot a few things, which is what I did. And I was like, it's a good ship. I wouldn't call it great. My grade is like a 8. My excellence is 9 and 10, but good is 6. I think a good ship is 6 and 7, 6 is on the lower end. So like if I give something a 9 or 10, I'm just saying it's excellent. Like it's gonna be hard for anybody to convince me that ship is not great. That's what my 9s and 10s are. And then my 8s are like kind of the same thing, except it is possible somebody could convince me that it's not great. It's just highly unlikely. And then my 6s and 7s are like right where most ships should be. All right, ramps open. Let's take a little quick look around, folks. A lot of people like the looks of this ship. I think it's okay, but I'm not a huge Misk fan as far as the looks of their ships anyway. I get it. They don't do straight lines. I get that. So I'm not saying it's an ugly ship. I'm just saying it's not my taste. But I never take points off when it's just something that's purely my taste. But the mail slot thing, yeah, that's not just my taste. That's a lot of people's taste. That's most people's taste. But nah, it's I the looks of a ship also don't affect it, but the mail slot affects your visibility, and that's why that takes off a point. It's really not about how many people, more so just, hey, does this actually affect the ship or not? All right. So cool to have sat down and watched them announce this at CitizenCon, like physically be there, and now just be walking through one of the ships they just announced that I saw them announce live. Like it's, I don't know, it's a different feeling. That's why I tell people, like, if you can go to CitizenCon, go, because it is really cool. But anyway, to the ship. Nice little cargo bay here, Uh, and just so people can see what's this way. Open. Open sesame. There we go. This is the cool little walkway that it has where this part drops down. So very cool the way it opens its doors. All right. So this was never this was never expected. When they announced the ship, they didn't show this animation. But that animation is incredibly cool. It's one of the reasons why this ship is a 6 and I didn't rate it lower. Um, there's a lot of things that I like about this ship. In fact, I like the ship. And I think people get offended when ships that they love are not loved by other people. And all I'm saying is I don't love the ship. I like it. I don't love it. And I don't think that that's, you know, the worst thing in the world. The ease of loading, great. Absolutely fantastic. Like that coming down like that, and then boom, you could have 4 people working on this side, or 3 people on this side, 3 people on the other side, loading this bad boy up. Plus the back, plus people loading the back over here. It's great. I like it. So, one of the things that they have clearly figured out is how to do loading on these ships. And you got to appreciate, you got to give, whoa, you got to give CIG credit where credit's due. All right. So this little area here, I liked as well. As you can see, or maybe that's backwards. Oh yeah, it is. Release control. So let me show you. Let me show you this. Bam. There's your docking collar. All right. I don't think they had parts just kind of strewn around this one. Normally in ships you'll have parts just randomly in a random hallway. I don't think they had that in this, which I think is kind of showing you like the design philosophy here. Oh, did I try to get this last? I don't think I did, but they're there. Let's see. Now, when I did my first walkthrough of this, I don't think I spent as much time as it in it, because I was really just trying to like look, like, I was really like, oh, look, what's over here? What's over here? Oh, what's over here? What's over here? All right, that's it. And one of the things that I noticed is that I already knew, like I said, I already knew I was gonna like the interior, so it wasn't a whole lot that I needed to see. But this ship feels like you could live on it. Like it has enough little compartments and little areas to make you feel like, oh, like this would be a really cool ship to live on, which is why I said in my review that like this would be a ship that I would give, you know, to people that were like warehousing all my stuff. And this is of course the area from the commercial. They were playing pool here, sitting here, shelf here, I think these are going to be food makers. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what that is. This looks like a microwave or something. I think all this is placeholder stuff because you could tell the animation is trash on it. They're really pushing the 4-seat thing. I think it should have a tractor beam. That was a big sticking point for me. Even if I wouldn't use it, even if you wouldn't use it, that doesn't mean there's not other people who would prefer to use a tractor beam. So yeah, that's a point off. Now, again, I still like the ship even without the tractor beam, which is why I gave it a good score. But I like I said, I get it when people don't see a high score, people tend to rail against it a little bit. Remote turret seat, and then of course your pilot seat and co-pilot seat. This is the area that bothers people. That up there, this up here. All right. Now, let me say something about this viewing area, right? If the floor had some glass on it, I wouldn't be as upset. If the ceiling up here had some glass see-throughs, I would not be upset. If the sides had some more glass up here, I wouldn't be upset. But just having this, no, not on a ship that's not very maneuverable. If the ship was hyper maneuverable, I probably wouldn't care as much. But yeah, I'm sorry, this MISC, that's just always going to be an issue for me. And this is coming from a person who has 3 Endeavors. So yeah, don't say that lightly. All right, avionics is in here. Radar, which was so weird that the radar never had its own thing. Isn't that weird? Oh, look, and we could take those out, but we kind of knew that was coming. But so glad that this system is in. I think this says coming soon or something. No, these are the turrets, so never mind. That's not the one that said coming soon. I think it was the engineering station or something that said coming soon. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, we're moving back. Obviously, these are escape pods. But like I said, I really like the interior of this ship. This is really my second look. I think one of the things that might make me, give a little bit of a update to the score is that you can fit more cargo in this than they listed, which is generally true for all ships, but you can fit so much more cargo in this that it changes the status of the cargo. Like, it seems like you could fit 300 in this, right? So if you stack them up high enough and you could even fill this little area, you could fit around 300 SCU of cargo in here, which was one of my biggest complaints about it, which was that I didn't understand why it had 224 cargo when you can get a Raylan, which has 200 or 320 SCU of cargo. But if this thing can fit 300, now it's looking like a direct competitor to the Raylan, because the Raylan, one of the things that I thought was really cool about the Raylan, first of all, I like the way the Raylan looks more, but second of all, the way that it carries its cargo is unique. This one looks like it's going to be very unique. Shares a little bit with the Caterpillar and the way the doors open a little bit, but only a little bit. But yeah, I like the elevator. I like that you can exit the ship from the elevator. And then you have your armory. Now, this is one of those things that I'm not sure if this is in the build or not, but I love when they put armories in ships. They even got a little seating area here, but full suit lockers. Like, you can put your gigantic suits in here. These aren't those little tiny ones. Yeah, these are full on. You could put the biggest armors in there. All right. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you include the ones you're wearing, that's 2 suits per person, right? Because you're going to bring a suit and then you got a suit. So everybody can do 2 roles. So for instance, if I know I'm going to be the one that's going to be, well, in the TAC, this would be true, but not in this one. If I was going to, in the TAC, if I know I'm going to be the person flying that ship that's in the hangar, I might bring my pilot suit. And then, you know, if my secondary role is engineer, then I might just bring my, you know, my regular civilian clothes with maybe just a helmet, just to have the maneuverability of just running around or something. So it depends on what your roles are. But I really like this as well. I think this was open. Yeah. Yeah. So you could fit the big weapons in here. It looks like you could put the pistols up top. So yeah, 4 weapons. Looks like you could. It looks like 6 pistols. But yeah, this stuff is the ship. Again, I like the ship, and I felt like when I did my review, people just assumed I didn't like it. But this is your whole area right here. You got your cargo area, which is all this back here. This is all cargo down there and back here, right? Which you should have. This, your cargo is close enough. It's pretty much takes up the entire rear of the ship. Oh wait, I never went this way. I gotta show you guys this way. Oops, wrong way. All right. This is one of the coolest things about. Now, I'm certain you'll be able to fit 2 people on these beds. Technically, it's 4 crew, but also technically you could do 4, you know, 8 people. Now, your oxygen might not tell you that you could do 8 people, because remember, now we're going to have to do resource management. So yeah. But I like the living areas, and I think this is what sells a lot of people. They come in here and they're like, ooh, I got a desk. You go, I got a double bed. I got plenty of storage in here. I got stuff I can put here for decoration. But there's no TV or anything in here. Not from what I noticed. Ooh, openable storage? Ooh, I like that. It physically open. I like that. Oh, and then your bathroom, which is your pretty standard, but oh, this one doesn't have the cameras or anything, but that's only in the Polaris. But yeah, you know, your shower toilet combo with some stuff to clean yourself with. It's a nice. This is all nice. These are the things that make it a good ship. The engineering area, these are cool looking. If you get in kind of close on those. The little smoke they're blowing out. I don't know if that smoke is, I don't think is that smoke actually coming out of there? I can't tell if it's coming out. I don't think it's coming out. I think it's hitting the glass. And these are always cool. These are in a few ships though. And then you can access your quantum drive. Bam. All right. Your cooler, shield generator, batteries, power plants. This is a full part now. The batteries are full parts now. So boom, you'll be putting your batteries in here, and that's going to be a new part that you have to worry about. I never pressed this button. Oh, these are your fuses. Just your fuse storage. Oh no, I didn't want to. Oh, put that back. Put that back. That is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, so that's engineering. Wait, is this the one that? Yeah, this is the one that said coming soon. Yep. And yep, we can go back out of here. One thing I will say is these are cool little details, seeing the little windows, you know, showing you where stuff is. little window into the elevator shaft. And then hab 1. Oh, did we skip? Did we walk past hab 2? Nope, there it is right there. There's hab 2. This one's a little different. Doesn't have the little extra stand to put stuff. See that? Boom, boom. Does have a nice little fridge down there. And all right, yeah, we might as well just go into all of these. Same thing, pretty much as the last one. And then we'll go revisit these. So this is the one that has this little area. This is the little area that's different. So hab 4 has that. Also has this whole little vent area right here. So most rooms, you walk in and this is all you get. This room has this little extra here. And so does this room. So you kind of got your, like, I would say these are your captain and pilot rooms, and then your crew rooms are the other two. The way this ship is organized, I really like. I really like where everything is. You know, you come straight from your habs to the recreation area. Then you come from your habs to, you got your ladder access here, so where you can get the things. Your life support, so people can't mess with your life support. They have to literally get up to where you would be sleeping to mess with your life support. And then you got your escape pods. So, you know, if all goes bad, you are sleeping a few doors away. Your door, this door, that's 2 doors, 3 doors, 4 doors between you and the escape pods. Well, 5 if you count the door of the escape pod. But yeah, okay, that thing was messing up. And then you're not too far away from the bridge. You know, this I think this is really cool too. You know, your avionics, your radar is up here. Yeah, I think this part of the bridge is very cool. I think that part of the bridge is a why. All right, I'll stop giving you guys heck about that. But, you know, I'm walking through it again, and I said I'd give like a new opinion. My opinion isn't changing. It's still a good ship. I don't think it's a bad ship, but I also don't think it's a great ship. I think people will really like it because of this area actually being livable. And I think part of that is because there's so few ships that just have really cool looking livable spaces, really cool areas to just hang out, that obviously this is going to be, you know, a great update for a lot of people. So yeah, I get why you would love that. I think having the 4 separate rooms and the multiple entrances, all amazing ideas. But again, I think people are looking at the new standard for how CIG is building ships, and they're just like, oh, you know, I like how engineering is centrally located. I think people are looking at the standard for CIG's new way of building ships, and they're just like, oh, this ship is better. When it's more like, it's not so much that the ship is better, it's that they figured out how to build spaceships, folks. Like, this is it. This is them figuring it out. But I'm not judging them on their ability to build spaceships, because I already kind of believed in their ability to build spaceships, you know? So that doesn't change anything for me. Yeah. So what I think people are reacting to, and I think why people are like so in love with the Max, is because they're not looking forward to the fact that every ship built after this will be just as well built as this. Most ships built before this, when they get their reworks, will be just as well built as this. So I guess I'm not looking at it from that standpoint, but here's what I'll do. Because now I know you can fit 300 plus, well, I'll say 300. I think you can fit a little bit more than that, but I'm just gonna say 300 because that's all I need to justify this. You can fit at least 75 more cargo than this thing originally said you could. That is big because that was one of my biggest gripes with it. The lack of a tractor beam was my biggest gripe, and then the second biggest gripe was the cargo capacity, and then my third biggest gripe was the mail slot. So you lose 2 points for my biggest gripe, 1 point for my smallest gripe. So I don't do half points. I suppose you could say I would, after finding out that this thing could put a little bit more cargo in it, I might say it's a 7. I could go 7. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable with saying the max is a 7 because it can fit so much more cargo than it lists that it can fit. It has the elevator access. It's got a lot of ways to move around this ship. Now, I could also imagine somebody being on this ship and like you doing some smuggling, and then you hop in one elevator, another person hops in the other one, and you just have the person chasing you around the ship. That is a really cool looking, a really cool type of gameplay, you know. So I will definitely say that with the cargo thing updated, and now knowing it can fit more cargo, I would definitely put this ship 1 point higher than I gave it. So yeah, I can't give it an 8 or a 9. It still has the other flaws that I really can't get past. So let me give you an example. Now, this is just like, you know, I didn't pre-think about this or anything. This is just me saying, where could you put a tractor beam on this, right? Because this thing lowers down, right? All we need is to be able to put things on these platforms, and when they're lowered, not when they're up, only when they're lowered, right? So where would you put a tractor beam at? Okay, you can't put it in the front of the ship. Why can't I have an articulating tractor beam anywhere on this area, this side of the ship? Mind you, they designed it to look like this. They could have designed it to where a tractor beam would make sense. They designed it to where a tractor beam, you have to kind of just figure out where one goes, but they could have easily extended this part and then just had a part out here with the tractor beam. And again, this isn't because I think tractor beams are the best thing smoking. I have an Atlas. I bought an Atlas. I told you that in my Atlas video. I bought an Atlas. I'll be using an Atlas for all of my, put stuff on, take stuff off operations. So this isn't coming from some like tractor beam enthusiast. This is coming from someone who says, if you're going to have a cargo ship, a dedicated cargo ship, this is a dedicated cargo ship, mind you. I just want to keep reiterating, this is a dedicated cargo ship. Its main purpose is cargo, and it does not have a tractor beam. There is no way that anybody's going to convince me that that's not a big deal, because whether you personally like to use a tractor beam or not, the ship should come with one as an option. And you would never have to use it if you don't want to, but it should come as an option for the people who do like to use them, because it's a dedicated cargo ship. If it was not, if it had two primary purposes rather than one primary purpose and a secondary purpose, then we'd be talking about something else. But no, it doesn't. It's a cargo ship, and it doesn't have a tractor beam. That's 2 points any way you slice it. And if you don't hate the mail slot, you could give it an 8. I don't like the mail slot. That's why I give it a 7. So I'm not upset that you guys are out here giving it 8s and whatever you want to give it. That's your score. This is just my score. I don't think ships where your primary purpose is to do a thing should not come equipped with the correct tools to do that particular thing. Is give it a 7. And I think, again, I can, this isn't just me saying, oh, people think it's a 7, so, or an 8, so let me upgrade what I think. No, I took what you said into consideration, and I was like, let me give it a second look. And now, knowing that I can fit close to 300 SU of cargo on this ship, which was, again, one of my gripes, yeah, I can give it a point that I previously took away from it. But that's it. It's a 7, which is a good score, folks. I'll tell you what, the Starlancer and the next vehicle that I do, those are going to be on the old system. I'll start a new system where I start to give some more scores in between. Maybe I'll start doing your 6.5, your 5.5, your 7.5, that type of stuff, where I can't quite justify that going up to that next point. But I'll have to create a whole new system for that. Well, not a whole new system, but I probably won't do anything below a 5 as a half score. Like I won't do a 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. It'll be 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. Those would be what you would get, because a 4.5 is a very weird thing to even say. Like that doesn't even sound right. 5 is the lowest score of like I can recommend it. 4, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you have it, I wouldn't be mad at you. 3 and below is I have questions. 3, I have a few questions. 2, I have a lot of questions. 1, I probably have so many questions that I probably won't even talk to you because there's so many questions. But again, it's your ship, it's your money. You guys go out there, buy whatever you want. I think the Starlancer is a good ship. It could be great. CIG, you're holding this thing back from its greatness. But I also don't think all ships are meant to be great. I don't think all ships are meant to be 10s. Like some of them are supposed to do what they're supposed to do. And this ship is going to do what it's supposed to do very well. You just need to bring a cargo gun with, or what is the name of that gun? I always forget the name of that gun. Or the tractor beam tool, or whatever people call it. I think it's the tractor beam tool. I think that's the real name for it. You need a tractor beam tool to run the ship. They're not expensive, but again, I shouldn't have to buy something to use my ship that is dedicated for the role. You know, that's a thing for me. I have an Atlas. I'll just walk up real slow to this thing and load it, or throw my cargo boxes at it really fast. So I'm not worried about my ability to load it, but I also don't think I'll be owning one. And it's not because I don't think it's a good ship, mind you. It's because I personally don't need one because of other ships I own. But yeah, that's the Starlancer. Hope you enjoyed the updated review, and I'll do these more often. You know, if I do a concept ship and I give a score on it, you know, I'll make sure I walk through it when it comes out and give you an updated score like I did today. This thing's officially a 7. There you have it. I think people thought I was being harsh, but I think one of the reasons I went through, and I'll do this in more of my reviews, I'll tell you what I took points off for, so that you can say, well, I wouldn't take that point off, or maybe I would take less points off for that thing. And then you could, you know, still use my reviews and be like, oh, well, so your score without that is this, and your score without that is this, right? And I think that gives it, because there's people that don't care about the front part. They're gonna add a point for that. There's people that like the cargo amount. They're not gonna take off 2 points for that. Maybe they only take off 1 if they do care about it. And then there's, you know, people who don't care about a tractor beam, so they won't even take off a point for that. So to them, this ship is a 9. And I get that. I get that is what it is for you. And I respect that. So respect my 7 over here. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for spending your time with us. I'll see you in the next one. Shout out to the members. Peace.